the images from the Docker Hub, and then we created a container. We have logged into the containers using Docker attach and Docker exec, right? And then we started with so many commands that we have done already. So what we do, let's quickly launch the EC2 instance and then install the Docker. Meanwhile, they will come. Okay, let's go to EC2.
This meeting is being recorded.
P2 micro and then 130. So let me increase the size. Okay, 8 GB is 8 GB is very small because we are downloading a lot of images, right? So no one will ask feedback about some here or someone. Thank you, Dinesh. So let's launch. Okay, public IP, put it here, EC2 user, SSH 730. Okay, accept. Okay, let's move on. What's the landing command? So yes. And then what's that? Oh, you want that? Okay, host name, habituated, huh? Yes, host name. But actually, that's a good habit in real time to have the host names all the time. So host name details set hyphen host name, what do you say? Docker sudo hyphen I. So what do we do? Let's install yum install -y docker. So now do you remember the command? Should we pull the images and then should we try to create one container? Okay. Okay. So what do we need to do? We need to start the container or start the service? Systemctl start docker. Okay, docker images. Do we have any images? No. What's the command for containers? Docker ps. What habituated with the commands? Docker images, docker ps all the time we try to do this. Okay. So let's try to pull one image. What's the command? Docker pull. Which one? Amazon Linux. Okay, Amazon Linux. So we can pull any images also. Okay. So what's the tag here? We have latest. What's the tag? Latest. That means we can give the tags also. So see, today I have downloaded Amazon Linux or Ubuntu image, right? On top of it, I do all the stuff and then I create one more image or not. And we can give the tags also for that. Version 1, version 2, version 3 like this. We'll talk about all those things. Okay. Okay. What's the command to create a container from this? Docker run hyphen it hyphen name. Oh, what is the name we gave yesterday? Ubuntu one. And then not this Ubuntu, Amazon Linux, no? AWS container 1. Next, Amazon Linux. So we already logged in. So container got created. Okay. All right. So what we do? Apt, not update. What we do here? Yum update -y. So it is updating. What we have done here? What we have done? So we have created a container. We went inside it, and then yum update. There's nothing to do it. So let's install something. What is that? Yum install -y. What? Huh? Git. Okay. Let's go to the Git. And then yum install -y. One more thing. HTTPD. All right. So we have done all these things, and then how do we safely exit it? Control PQ. And another way you can also exit is Control D. Say that. If you do Control D, what will happen? The main process will be killed. Main process will be killed. The main process meaning here, already container is running, right? If you do Control D, this container will go to exit state. That means stop state. So don't use Control D. Always go with Control PQ. It's very safe. Okay. So we know how to Docker ps -a. So we know how to create containers, how to create images, and we know how to stop, start. And then also we can do. Did I told you about restart? We can do the restart also. Docker restart. Simply what here? Docker. Simple. So you just need to say what? Docker restart. And then what you need to do? Container. What's our container? AWS con 1. See. So Docker restart. Another command. So I'll be posting these commands also in Google Classroom, so you can do it. See, Docker. Sometimes how do we will restart the EC2 instance, right? Similarly, we can restart what? Docker container also. And also, if you want to remove the container, what we need to do first? First, we need to stop, and then we need to remove. But if you don't want to stop and directly remove it, what you need to do is Docker rm -f. F meaning what? Forcefully remove it. Don't stop. Directly it will get killed, but I'm not deleting it. Okay. And also, if you want to see the logs of this container, what do you want to see the logs? So simply what you do? Docker logs and then container name. Oops. Okay. It went. So basically we can, now there is no logs, but it just showed that what we have installed it. But if you want to see any logs, you can go for Docker logs. And inspect versus logs. Malika is asking, what is inspect meaning? Inspect will show you the information about the Docker, container, right? So logs meaning what is there inside that, you can get the logs. So any problems, anything that, yeah. Yes, super. Docker commands are more user friendly. Yes. And then also we use something called Docker top. Say that. Docker top and AWS container 1. So it shows what are the processes running inside the Docker. What's it? What are the processes? Say that. So generally we'll be running so many processes, right? So inside the container, what are the processes that is running? We can see using Docker top command. Say that Docker top. And also we have Docker stats. Say that. So Docker stat meaning it shows like this container using how much CPU. Someone was asking this, sir, how to check the CPU memory of it. So do you see this here? So we have the how much container is taking the CPU, how much memory it is taking, right? What's the limit of this, and how much it is using here, right? And what is the PID for it, process ID, everything you can see it using this. What command? Docker stats. Say that here. Docker stats. Online, put in the chat. Docker stats. So and then if you want to see the differences in the container that you have created, let's say for example, can I log into the container? Let me use that. Okay, how to do? Control C, Chandan. Okay, tell me how to log into the container. Docker attach also fine. Docker attach AWS container 1. So we are inside it, and then assume that I created one file. Okay, vi file 1. Okay, vi is not installed here. So okay, let's cat file 1. Blah 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 blah. Right, right, and then touch file 2. Okay. I'm just writing it. Okay, so I exit the container. Okay. So now, if you want to see the differences and what you have done inside the container, there is a command called docker diff. Say that docker diff and then AWS container this. I'm showing all these things. Right? So these all the things got changes. Huh? Okay, ignore this docker diff. So what I did, so I was just going crazy and then finding out a lot of comments for you. So this command is not that important, but if you want to see the differences, what you have done in the container, we can use what docker diff. We have not done anything concrete there, so just ignore it. But yeah, ignore. So ignore that. Okay. So what is that? Docker diff. Okay. So these are the few more commands that I was, and also assume that if you have any file here in the local host, in the host machine, let's say for example, I'm creating a file called hello.txt. What's that? I have my local, so I want to copy this file into my container. So this is a nice requirement that you will get it in real time. That one files need to be copied inside the container, right? It's very common things. So we can use here docker cp. Say that docker cp. So docker cp. Which file you want to copy? Hello.txt. Where to which container? AWS container 1 : where you want to copy this, you can put in whichever the directory that you want. And what it says, successfully copied. So if you do simply docker attach which one, AWS container 1, and if you go to c/temp and you see hello.txt is there. So this is very common, frequently used command that in the real times to copy the file from local machine to containers. What's the command? Online, everyone? Docker cp. Docker cp. There is one more command that is not required, but some crazy command. You can. What's the command to list the images? Docker images. What is the image that we have here? Amazon Linux image is there or not? So this Amazon Linux image is there. I want to save this image in tar format. Tar means zip format. This image is there. Generally, it's not pickable, right? So basically, in real time, sometimes if you want to save the image, I have Amazon Linux image where I have installed a lot of things. I want to save it as a zip file or .tar file. So we can also do that. So we have a command called docker save. Say that docker save. And what is the image here? Amazon Linux. And then you give called my own image dot what? Tar. That image is getting saved as what? .tar. So here. You see that tar? Huh? So just in case, this is another way of doing this. Just in case, if you want to share the images from one machine to another machine. So because we are installing the containers here in this machine, right? You cannot have the same container on another machine, same images also on another machine. If you want to share the images from one person to another person, can we do the tar and then share it or not? Yes. Okay. And now that person took that tar file and now you need to create the image from this or not? Yes, you can also do it. Simply what you can do, docker load. Say that docker load -i image. So what is our image here? My own tar. So Malika, how to share tar from one person to another person? FTP is there, SCP is there, WinSCP is there, Linux commands. Forgot. So Malika. So guys, do you see this here? So now what's the command to from tar to create the image? Docker load. Say that docker load. So if you see docker images again, so the latest image is here itself. It's rewrite. This image is the same, right? This is clear. These are a few things, and then you have docker history. Say that docker history, and then if you give the Amazon Linux, right? So what is there? What we have done with that image, you can see about that particular docker history. So for a particular image, what we have done for that image, you can see from the docker history. Clear? I will share this command. It's a little bit hard to remember it, but when you start practicing it, so because the previous command I have injected in your brains, so these commands are for fun purpose. So in real time, we don't use that much, but the docker cp command will use it, but that's all for fun. So you can just go through it and then use it. Okay. So let's go with our today's topic. Online, is this clear? Clear? Yes, Malika. Okay, let's go to today's topic. What is today's topic? Docker file. So do you remember the Docker file concept? So in Docker file, what we write? We write components. What we write? Can you tell me a few components that you know? Run, cmd, copy, add, work directory, labels, arguments. There's a lot of things are there, right? So let us go one by one and then learn about this, how to write a Docker file. Online, ready? So and I also told you that Docker file, what is the purpose of the Docker file? Fantastic, guys. To create a image. So what we have done yesterday is we pulled the image and we created a container and then we logged into the container, install all the stuff, and then we create a image using what command? Docker commit. So that is a long process and manual process to do it. But here using Docker file, we can automate creating the images. And Docker file, D should be capital letter and the name should be Docker file only. So now let's go and create. So where I'm now here, pwd under the root. You can be anywhere, no problem. So let's clear it and create a Docker file. What's the command? vi docker file. D should be capital letter or not? Go inside it. Okay. So now my requirement here is I need Ubuntu. I need what? Ubuntu, and I need to update the packages, and I need to install Git and Maven, Apache, whichever you want, and I need to create a file. This is my requirement. What is my requirement? So what is the base image that you take? Ubuntu, and next I need to update all the patches. That means what's the command? apt update -y, and then I need to install Git. What's the command? apt install Git Maven, whichever you want, and then I want to create a file. Touch file 1. So now tell me, if I want to use the base image, what's the component that I use? What's the component I use in Docker file? From. Say that everyone. And from component should be in capital letter or not? From. So what is the image that we use? Ubuntu. We know Ubuntu, that's why I'm directly writing it. Otherwise, we need to find the image name from the Docker Hub or not. So when I say from Ubuntu, that meaning our Docker will get from Ubuntu, from Docker Hub. First, remember, whenever, see, it is not mandatory to pull the image and then create a container. Remember, what we have done yesterday, we pull the image first and then we create a container or not. What's the command to create a container? Docker run -it, -name, container name, and image name. At the end, we are putting what? Image name. So assume that you don't have image locally. Previously, what we do, Docker pull Ubuntu, and then we create a container. Without pulling also, you can run the container by, at the end, you are putting Ubuntu, right? So first what it does is, Docker container will run it. First, it will check whether the image is locally or not with you. If it is not there, automatically pull from Docker Hub. So Docker pull is not mandatory command. Docker pull is not a mandatory command. Whenever you are running the container, automatically the command will pull from the Docker Hub. So Docker run command first will check the image locally. If it is there locally, it will create from it. Otherwise, it will go to the Docker Hub and then pull the image and then create a container for it. Got it? Okay. Now here Ubuntu image is there in my local machine. No, right? So in my local machine, Ubuntu image is not there, right? So if I put from Ubuntu, it will automatically download. Okay. So the base image is what? Ubuntu. And next, what is the command? So we need to update the patches, right? So what is the command? What's the component in Docker file to run the Linux commands? Run. Which one? Capital letter or not? Run. Which one? Apt update -y. Next, I want to install Git and all. Again, component. Run only. What's that? Yesterday I told you difference between run and CMD. I'll teach that also, don't worry. But do you remember the difference between run and CMD? What's that? Run will execute at the build time, whereas CMD will be executed at the container creation time. Okay, so now run. Which one? Apt install. Which one? Git, Maven, tree, Apache 2, whichever you want. Go ahead and then install it. Okay, whichever you want. Next, touch create a file. So how to do that? Touch file 1. Let's go with this. What are the two components that I'm using here? From and then run. Should I save it? Save it. Docker file is ready. So Docker file is ready. From this Docker file, what I need to do? I need to create an image. What is the command that we use? Docker build. Say that. Docker. Online put in the chat. What is that? Docker build. See the command. Docker. Which one? Build. So when you're building it, what it will create? It will create the image or not? It will create the image. So it will create the image. We need to give the name for that. We need to give the tag for the image or not? It will give the name for that image, right? So if you don't give the name, you don't understand. It will give some blah 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 name. So it is always good to give a tag for it. So tag meaning -t. What's the command? Docker build -t. And I'm giving a image name called what? Riaz. And then I'm giving a tag called version 1. What is the image name? Riaz. What is the version name? Tag here. Version 1. V1 is the tag name. Tag here. You can give any name, but I'm just putting version 1, version 2, version 3 like this because in real time we do. And then especially here I need to put. Okay, now it is Docker build is happening and you're giving the tag. But from where you need to build this? Using Docker file, right? Where is your Docker file? Here only, right? So here you need to put dot. Say that. Dot meaning what here? Current directory. Say that. Dot meaning what here? Current directory. So in this current directory only I have Docker file, right? So please remember, if you want to run a Docker build command, you need to run this where you have the Docker file. Otherwise, it will not run. Because how does Docker build command knows what to do, what to build? All the build components will be there, will be in the Docker file. You're getting it? What does the Docker file contain? Docker file contain all the components or not? So Docker file contains what to do exactly. How playbooks has. Similarly, Docker file also has what to do. So whenever you say Docker build, it will take the reference of Docker file and then it will build everything. If you don't give any reference, how does it build? What will it build? For that reason, we'll put what here? Dot. See this? I'm entering it. What is doing? See. What is doing? It's building or not? So it is downloading the Ubuntu and it is and what is doing? We have given apt updates. See, and we have see apt install. Next command it is running. See here. It looks like playbook only, but it's not playbook. It is building the image. As I have given so many softwares there that is taking time, right? Yeah. Installing Git, Maven, and touch file. And what it is exporting to? Image. Image is a form of layers, right? Okay. Now image got created. Naming to the Docker. What is the image name here? Riaz colon v1. What we have done here? Through Docker file, we have built the image. So now in Docker file, whatever components we have given, so Docker build took the components and build the image or not? So what it does, do you see this here? It has downloaded the Ubuntu because we have mentioned the base image as Ubuntu with the component called from. What is this from run called? Component, say that. So from we have given Ubuntu, so it took the latest tag, and then what it does, it has downloaded it, and then what it does, it has run the app update, installed as the file, and then what it is exporting the image. So what's the command to see the image now? Docker images. Do you see this here? Image name is Riaz, and what's the tag have you given? Got it? You understand how to build the image from the Docker file? What's the command? Docker build -t image name colon tag name space dot. I'll make you happy to. I'll create multiple Docker files. Don't worry, like how we did for playbooks. Okay. Now I do Docker images. Docker images. Okay. Now with this Docker image, I want you to create a container. Tell me the command. Docker run -it hyphen name container name. I call it as container 1 image name. What's the image name? Riaz. If I give Riaz, it will not work. We have given the tag. If you don't give anything, it will take latest. But here I have given the specially tag as v1. So what I need to put here? Colon. Otherwise, it will not identify the image. Because why I'm giving tags here? Because in real time we'll use the tags. If you don't give the tag, it will replace the same image. Okay. Now enter. You see, I'm inside it. Okay. And then Git is there already here. Git hyphen v. Right. And then what we have installed? Apache. And then what we installed? Tree also there. Okay. Right. Yeah. And then Maven hyphen version. So everything is there or not? Understood? So what we have done, the process here. First we created a Docker file, and from that Docker file we build the image, and from that image we created a container. This is the process that we do in real time. Control PQ. Clear. Now What is the component that we have used here? From run. So now let me show you another component here called CMD. Which one? What is the difference between run and CMD? I already told you. Run will be executed in the build time, and the CMD will execute in the container creation time. Should we see it now? Okay. Then a Docker file. I have to write one more Docker file. So I'm not editing this current Docker file. I'm not editing it. Just keep it aside. So can I change, rename that to some other name? Can I call it as move? Which one? Docker file to Docker file 1. Okay. Why I moved? Because I need to write one more Docker file. The name should be the same name or not? Let's see. VI. Which one? Docker file. Okay. Enter. Tell me the comments. Component farm. Which one? Ubuntu. Next. So here I want you to install. I want you to build an image. Same thing. Update the packages. Install Git or any package. Create the files and then install Python and also install MySQL server. MySQL server should be installed at the time of creating the container. Without move, shall we create VI Docker? No, you cannot create. The name should be same. No, Dinesh. Name should not be changed. Name should be Docker file only. Okay, now tell me. Next, run. App update. My next run. App install Git. Okay, what do you want to do? Python 3. Enough, no? Hyphen. Why? You can write whatever you want. So it is taking a lot of time to install. Okay, next. Which one? CMD. Or if you want run touch file 1, you can create hello.txt. Which one you want? Next here I'm using what? CMD. CMD what? App install what? MySQL hyphen server hyphen what? You understand how to write the Docker file? Done. Next. We need to build this file or not? What's the command? Docker build hyphen t version 2. I already did version 1 image. No, this is version 2. Space. If I put Docker file here, you see this? So what I need to do here? I need to put here dot. Okay. See now it is doing. It is installing Python, Git, Python. It is installing, and will it run? Will it execute CMD now? It will not execute the CMD because this is build phase, right? In the build phase, CMD will not be executed. See, run happened, touch happened, but CMD didn't happen. Image got created. Docker images. I have version 2 now. Tell me a command now. I'm clearing. Tell me a command to create a container from that version 2. Docker run hyphen it hyphen name container 2. One created, no? Container 2, and then which one? Colon version 2. Now if I click, what will happen? Generally what happened? It will go inside the container and keep quiet, right? But what will happen now? MySQL should install as per the logic. But let's see what it does. Okay. What is happening? Installing or not? See it installing the MySQL. Generally only container will get created. But here in the Docker file, I have given the CMD command, right? So from that image, CMD is readily available in that image. Whenever the container got created, CMD will execute. You understood? Online, everyone? Difference between run and CMD? Online clear? Super. Okay, right? Yeah. Okay. Is it clear? 2 times I created Docker file. Again, I'll create. See. So what are the components that we have used? From run CMD. So now I'll use copy and add. See that? Each and every component I'm showing you. Okay. Let's create a Docker file. But I need to rename the Docker file now. So move Docker file to Docker file 2. And now create VI Docker file. Tell me. Which one? Ubuntu. Blah blah blah. You know, run the commands now. Let's go to the topic. So what is here? Copy. Say that. What is the copy is used for? What purpose? Copying the files from local machine to host machine to container. I used already a direct command. Which command? Docker CP, right? Few minutes back I used Docker CP. But that is manually you are copying it. Suddenly if you want to copy to any container, some file, let's say Tomcat you're setting up, you have context.html. So do you need to write a Docker file to copy the file? Not required, right? So what do you need to do? Docker CP, copy the context file to your container wherever you want. But this one will help you while you are writing, while building itself, it will copy. While creating the image itself, it will copy. Okay? So what do you want me to copy? But you should have that file, no? First of all. You should have that file. What that hello.txt was there? Let's do that. Hello. This file need to be copied to where? In container, right? So in which location? Let's say for example, wherever you want to copy it. You want to copy /tempa, /homa, /vara, whichever you want, you just put the path here. Understand? Source and then destination. Next, what is the component I'm using here? Add. Add for what purpose? Add is used for what purpose? Huh? If wrong path, then Sumalika, what will happen? Sumalika, if the wrong path, what will happen? It will not copy. Simple as that. I want to call you Sumalika for your phone number. If I dial a wrong phone number, what will happen? Jaya will pick up. Example. It will not create. It is what is the component I'm using here? Copy. Okay. So what add will do now? It is download from internet or not? So what is the common thing that we used to download here? Tomcat, right? What is that? Tomcat, right? So let's go and download the Tomcat. Where is it? What is that? DLCDM, right? DLCDM. Apache Tomcat. Oh, DLCDM. Slash, what's that? We'll go directly. Tomcat. Tomcat 10. 36 got also released. But we always go with. But later they will remove this 35 and they'll keep only 36. Actually, it's minor version only. Okay. 35. What's that? Another bin. So we have this CZ now. Let's copy that. This one. Where I'll put it here. Add what? So this zip file, where you want to copy? In container in temp. Got it? Online. See this Docker file. I can make it big by writing run commands also. But here concept is you want to understand the components. Okay. So what we do now? Save it. Let's build this command. Docker build hyphen t and call version 3 and dot. Dot should be there or not? Okay, so let's run. See here what it's doing. It's downloading Ubuntu, and then it's downloaded. It is copied hello.txt. Image got created automatically now. Clear Docker images. We have version 3 also here now. Now can we create a container using that? Tell me. Docker run -it -name container 3. Oh, sorry, you tell me. Riaz colon version 3. Now I'm inside the container. Now go to which one? Slash. Yeah. You see these two files? Got it? Online getting it now? Okay. Super. So control PQ. Yeah. So what are the components we have covered? From, run, CMD, copy, add. So now let's go for work directory. What's that? Work directory and then label. Label is one. So what is it here? Work directory. Work directory meaning whenever you create a container, you'll go inside the container, right? So by default, it will be in the root /root. But if you want to be in directly in some other directory, you can use that work directory. Work directory meaning working directory. Should we create for it? What we do here? Cat Docker file. We'll use the same thing. Move our Docker file to Docker. Which one? Yeah. Okay. VI Docker file. So I'll use the same thing. And then here what I do? What is that? Work dir. Work dir. So what directory? Should I put /temp? Because I'm copying something to temp. So my working directory should be what? /temp. So that meaning it will go directly to the temp. And then what I'm using here is label. Say that. Label. So label, I say author is myself. Maintainer, author name, or you can give any name there. See that once? Label. What's it? Docker file. You can change it, but the build will have the author name. Somalika. Clear? Okay. Let's create Docker build -t version 4. Okay. From this, let's create a container. Docker run -it -name. Let's say container 4. Which version? Version. See that container already into the slash because I've given the working directory as /temp. If I do ls, I have my files there. Clear the outline? Nice. Now we got habituated with the Docker file and then habituated creating an image Docker build commands also to register in your brain. That's the reason why how these many times I'm doing it. Okay. Control PQ. Come back. And then now let's go to environment. env. Say that. So let's go with the env. What we do? First move the Docker file to Docker. So vi Docker file. Okay. We gotta take that. Okay, that's fine. So from which one? Ubuntu. Okay. Now, thank you, Dinesh. So now from Ubuntu, if you want, you can add all the components, right? So, but here I'm just going for which one? Env. Environment being what? Variable name. Remember we have seen in Jenkins. So here also we have environment. So let's say for example, I'm writing a course. What's the environment name here? Course. And what's the value? DevOps. And create one more environment. Environment. Trainer. Who is your trainer? Brand. Okay. 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 Somebody understood. Okay. Yeah, we are hitting the hand in the back on right. So I'm having fun with my offline people. I'm like, okay, fine. So and then I'm just going for one more component called expose. What's that? Actually, not required. Do we have any application to expose here? Just for fun, right? What's that? Expose. What's that? And give some port number. Actually, not required. I'll show you expose also. Just ignore that expose. Okay, so save it. Okay, let's run. Create. You should be habituated by now. Tell me. Docker build -t version 5. Dot. Done. Create a container. Docker run -it -name container 5. Which image? Version 5. I'm inside the container now. Now I've created a variable called what? Course, no? So that variable is already there inside my container now. What's the variable name? Course. Another one is trainer, right? So how do I print? Echo. What's that? Echo dollar. What's that? Course. If I want echo is for what purpose? Print purpose, no? Print the what? See, if I print course, what is coming? If I print here trainer. So in future, in big projects, if you want to pass a variables, if you want to create a variables, then you can go for which component is that? env. Say that, env. Come back. Online. Is this clear till here, everyone? Online. Offline. All good? Online clear? Slowly, smoothly. Smooth as butter. Label is different. Okay, I didn't show the label. Okay, so when you do, where we have done label? In which container we have done the label? Container 4 or 5 we just created. Container 4 property. So let's say, for example, Docker what? Inspect which one? Container 4. Local variables only. 5 -i. No, not this guy. Huh? Yeah, but container. That's fine. So label difference between label and then Somalika has a difference between label and environment. Label is for what purpose? You're just labeling the it's author. It's just author. That meaning the build has been created by this guy. Label. But environment is like a variable which holds the value. Does the label author is holding a value? I'm just giving a label as Riaz. But if you print the label echo dollar label, it will not print because if you want to print the variable, you need to use the component env. Which one? Somalika, okay. We have argument that is global, but here it is local. Yeah. Environment local variable. Correct. Online, is this clear till here, everyone, please? Okay, let's do a real application deployment now. Now you got all the basics now. My requirement here is I have where I'm now. I'm in a container or host machine. Host machine. Okay, no problem. Once you practice tomorrow, you'll get it. Okay. So now I'm the host machine. What I need is I have one repository in Git. Listen carefully. Requirement. I have a repository in the Git. I have a repository called website. Get that website. So Malika is slowly getting it right. Add is for what purpose? Download. But here, okay. Get that website in your host machine, and website contain all the code, right? I want that code to in the container. In container, first of all, it's a Ubuntu container. Which one? Ubuntu container. You need to, whenever I say Ubuntu container, what is the first thing that you should print in your mind? From Ubuntu. What's the first thing that you line? From Ubuntu. Next, apt update. Tell me, what is printing in your mind? Run apt update. Very good. Install Apache. Run apt install Apache 2. And if you want to install Apache related utils also, you can. How we have installed NFS utils? Here Apache utils also there. So what's the command for Apache utils? Run apt install Apache 2 -utils. Okay. Next, I want website directly got downloaded from Git. No. Whenever you do, okay, if I want to download Git repository, what's the command I need to use? Git clone. Which one? First get the repository in your host machine. Git clone. And then I have a website. I have a directory called website. I want that directory to copy that to my container. Apache is installed right in the container now. So in the container, what's the default directory for Apache? Var www HTML. Which one? Var www. Can you? So what is printing in your mind to copy my website file folders to my container var HTML? What's the command? Copy. Source and destination. What is our source? Website. Destination is var www HTML. I need to start the Apache service. What's the command? Systemctl for Amazon Linux. I'm using Ubuntu. Service Apache 2 start. What's the component? Component. Run. Component is here. Run. And your Apache is working on which port number? 80. So what is the component I need to use here? Expose. Expose 80. So and then this whenever this Apache need to be run in the foreground of the container or not. So we'll write a cmd command to start the service in the foreground. Now indirectly you already wrote Docker file in your mind. Let's implement that now here. Guys, 90% you will get it here. 10% practice. So do not worry and think about how I need to do this. Think and worry about you understood or not. If you understand the concept, tomorrow if you repeat it 2 times, you'll get it. Concept is important. Do not try to pretend like how I need to do this. How do I remember? No, no one will remember it. Once you do a lot of practice, you will remember. But here, concentrate on you understood the topic or not. Tomorrow I'll give all the comments or not. Who is asking you to without seeing the comments? I'm asking you to run it. No, right? So understand the topic now. Okay. So you understand the concept here. Right now, I want a container which has Apache installed, and then I want to deploy application in that Apache exposed with the port 80. That's the concept. Ready? So first, what I need to do now? Download from Git. So first of all, I need to install Git here in my host machine. Git is not there. What's the command to install Git? M install -y. Git. So in GitHub, I have there is a repository called website. Say that. Do you see this here? Website. Some website is there. Do you remember which website is that? That got security. What you got? Oh, you 70 people. Okay, fine. Yes, Malika, you can do it to the Docker file also. No problem. But let's go one by one. Okay, fine. So what do we need to do? Copy this, and what's the command I need to use here? Git. Enter. I have my website here. Okay, done. Okay. So now I already have a Docker file. So what I need to do? I need to move that. Move which one? Docker file to Docker file 5. Next VI Docker file. Abhi maja aayega. Bolo. From Ubuntu. Next. Arey wah. Apt update -y. Next. Run. Apt install Apache 2 -y. Run apt install utils. Apache 2 -utils -y. So we clean up. First what we do, whatever we have done there, we'll clean up. Okay, next. This is not important, okay? So you just clean the packages there. Okay, next. Copy. Which one? Which directory? Which directory? What is the source here? Website. Which one? Website. Which directory? Website directory. This entire directory I need to copy to where? Var www HTML. Yes. Next, we need to start the service now. Run now. Service Apache 2 start, or we can do restart. Start also you can do. If it is already started, simply what you need to do, restart it. And then you expose it now. Expose which step? If you do till here, what will happen? Just see that and then try to put in your brain once what it's doing. Simple as that. Okay. So now what I'm doing is here, I started the service. Docker build, listen carefully. I wrote a Docker file. Once you build this Docker file, image will be created. Image will be created. Apache service will be running. No, right? Image will be created. Apache service will not be running. So whenever you create a container from it, Apache service will pick up. What's the command I need to use? CMD. What's the command? So if you use CMD and directly write service Apache start, it will not work because that service need to run continuously when the container is running. So for that, we'll use something different command here. So but the component is what here? CMD in brackets. So Apache is installed under /usr sbin and then Apache CTL. What is that done here? Apache. So don't worry, you just need to copy paste it. Okay. And then here -t for the background. And then I call it as foreground. Please see this once. Hyphen D foreground meaning it runs Apache in the foreground mode, not background mode. What we call it as here? Foreground mode. Foreground mode meaning all the logs will be printed in the container and the process will stay alive if you go with the foreground. If you do the background, the container will go to the exit mode automatically. So if you want the container to be alive, then your process should be always in the foreground. See this here, please. Guys, I wrote everything with the hands, right? Please check whether any spelling mistake, because once we build it and create a container will not work. So please check whether any. Yeah. We need to run the service in the foreground. Omnath. So if you use foreground, so it will ensure the container remains active. If you go with the background, the container will go to the exit mode. Basically, threads. Yeah, Somalika, correct. Clear enough? Should we do it? Let's see if whatever we have wrote this Docker file is correct or not. So if it is correct, build will happen nicely, and then we can create a container out of it. Okay, ready? So what we need to do after this? After saving, let's save. What we do? Docker build -t. I call it as first project. Tag, and then start. Don't worry, I'm not giving the version 6 or version 5. You can change the names by image versions, right? Yeah. So let's go build. Installing Apache. Done. Super. Image is ready. Docker images. Do you see my first project? Image is ready. With this image, what I need to create? Docker images to see you. Okay. Okay. What I need to do? Please carefully listen this command. Okay. Tell me. Docker run -it. Can I use detach mode also here? Can I use -d also? Can use mix it up here also. Anything is fine. Giving different types of commands for you. -it, -d also you can use, or mix with the -d. Okay. Next. Name. I call it as a new website container one. New web container. You can give any name. Next. Okay. See. Image name will do. What is the image name? First project colon. Here. Correct. What you said is correct. But our Apache, this is not just an installation. We have deployed the application. So application we have deployed and it is exposed on which port number? 80. No. Do you remember yesterday I gave this. This is the EC2 instance. We call it as host machine. What's that? This is container. In container, what we do? This is host. This is a container. Inside the container, we have our Apache running on which port number? 80. So Apache is running on 80. You are here and you are using HTTP colon IP address, right? To access the website. Which IP address will give? Container IP address, host IP address. Host IP address. Host meaning here EC2 IP address. So host doesn't know port 80 because we have not deployed on the host, right? We have deployed inside the container. So that port you need to expose to the host. So that meaning what you need to do here is after the name -p. Say that -p meaning what here? Port. What is the host port? Your host port you are mapping to which port? Your wish. You can wish to 80, 80 also, 80 also, 140 also, whichever port number your wish. So first is the host port 80 colon. What is the container port? 80. In my case, I put 80, 80. But container must ensure it is running application running on 80. But host port is mandated to be 80. No, your wish. You can put any port number is fine. But it's good to put 80 because I don't want to put your 88 and all in the URL. See this command once, please. Clear? Powerful command, and we'll be using this command many times because till now we have learned all the basics, all stuff, right? But here we are doing the deployment application. Till now we have deployed on the EC2 instance. Now we are deploying it on container. So let's enter. Container got created. Docker ps -. Yeah. Do you see this here container? And do you see this here ports? Port 80 and 80. Host port and then container port. Why it is showing 80, 80 here in the bottom for container 5? In Docker file I have mentioned as expose 80, 80, right? For Summa purpose. But it is mapping to anywhere here? No. So here we have done the mapping using -p port here. So that meaning now my container is up, my application is deployed or not. If everything is good, if I go and take my EC2 instance IP address and put it here, I should get my website or not? Yes or no? Let's do. Let's check. Let's do. And there we go. We have successfully deployed the application inside the container. That to what? To Docker file. Docker file. We wrote the entire Docker file and then we build it and then we create a container and we have exposed the host port, container port to host port using port 80. And then we this is how we deploy it. How many containers? So what is one container right here? Can I create multiple containers now? And each container can be exposed to different port numbers or not? Yes, on one my EC2 instance I can have multiple applications with different port numbers. Yeah. Why do you worry about the website? This is bodyguard website. I took it sample website. Online clear today? Articles. So what are the things that we have learned today? So Docker file is the main concept today. So is it clear? Docker file, how to do maintaining stuff with the Docker files? That is all about the Docker file. And in the class start also, I gave you random commands of maintaining the Docker, like Docker forcefully removing it, and Docker logs, and Docker diff, and then Docker CP, right? So there are multiple commands. I'll send it to you. Okay. And then in the Docker file, we have seen all the components or not. So what are the components? You know, from, run, CMD, copy, add, work directory, label, here we expose. Got it? Karthik, don't worry, we'll do a lot of things again. This is not the end. Okay. So can you expose to different port number also or not? Yes, you can expose it to different port number. No problem. You can do it as a practice. Simply what you do here, call it as port 8080, whichever. If you run a container, Right? I don't want institution. You try it and then tell me. Okay. Is it clear? Use Docker log with it. Clear enough? Will you able to do this? Sumalika, correct. Put the EC2 IP address colon 88 to work. Okay. So container name you need to change it because we already did. So call it as container 2. That will work. Okay. Super. And what I do, I'll give one sample example for you to set up Tomcat using Dockerfile. What's that? Tomcat using Dockerfile. I already wrote the Dockerfile to you. I'll just give the Dockerfile to you. I'll copy paste the Dockerfile. What you do, go to the Dockerfile, write everything, and from the Dockerfile, create a Docker build and create a container, expose using port 8080. Tomcat works on 8080 and put IP address 8080, you will get the Tomcat also. That is the exercise that I'm giving it, but I'm writing the Dockerfile to you also. Okay? Super. Can you get the final CC for today, please? Online.